Hello, YouTube. The Eye of Stone here. Today we are having a look at the Clock Tower, a Thief fan site and community created by Wisp Mage. Recently, Wisp Mage reached out to me, and we had a very long and rewarding conversation on Discord, and we talked at length about Thief, and he has been good enough to publish our conversation here on his website. So I am only one of many. He has also talked to Dominus, one of our great Thief fan artists. And there's going to be, I am sure, many more, illuminating and rewarding conversations to be had in the days ahead that he's going to be sharing with the rest of us. Here's his interview with me, but there's and he linked he embedded some of my videos into our into the article, but there really is a lot more than just interviews with me or Dominus or whoever. There's a lot more going on here. This site has a lot more to offer than that, and let's just have a look at this. So this site reminds me a lot of thiefthecircle.com. Of course, a Taffer of my vintage is going to say that, but it's true. I say it because it's true. This site really does channel thiefthecircle.com, but beyond that, thiefthecircle.com was really sort of only the most successful, perhaps. I want to say that gently, but Thief the Circle was only perhaps the biggest footprint and the longest lasting of a whole ecosystem of Web 2.0 fans. I'm sorry. Way to lose your mic in the middle of a presentation. But anyway, Thief the Circle was only one of many Web 2.0 Thief fan sites. And it's important to understand that, web development, building a website, I should say, was not nearly as easy back then as it is now. And, in 2000, 2003, 2005. Not that I know anything about web design, building a website or web design or web development or whatever you want to call it. Not that I actually know anything about it, but I imagine back then making something that looks like this looks was a lot harder than it is now. And but the great strength of making a website's presentation now sort of channel that old Web 2.0 is this presentation, I find, really harkens back to it reminds me of a time when, okay, doing this would have been harder, but people were so into Thief, they put that level of effort into their website about the game anyway. They did it anyway. So it's I like the presentation here. I like the sort of vintage drop menus. So we start by, if we go to series, it looks like we have, let's see what we got here. Yeah, and not just with Thief, but really with, whether it was a film or a video or a computer game, back in the day you used to get this. You would have these sections which would cover handwritten, biographies of the various major characters. And, it wouldn't include, it's like it might be that you had some off character that you were interested and there wouldn't be a bio here, but, this certainly, I mean, hell, in the pagan section, of course you got the trickster and Victoria. What thief fan site wouldn't, but you also have Priestess Diane or even Shaman Woodbine. So, that's pretty damn cool. So, okay, that's characters. There's in the factions section, you don't just have pagans, hammers, and keepers. You got your mechanists, you got nobility, you got the city watch. I mean, that's that's pretty much it. You've got a little rundown of how that's managed in Thief Deadly Shadows. So you've got, this is the Clock Tower 2023 Ian Savage, Wisp Mage, basically. If we go, let's take a look at enemies. So again, you've got, for someone who is, new to this game and is used to newer games where your hand is held a lot more, where you're given a lot of tutorials at the beginning of the game, and where most of the dialogue is just straight exposition, whereas that's not how any of the Thieves really go about. Even Thief 4 doesn't just give you all the answers at once. That might have been one of the few things Thief 4 did right, but regardless, for a new player who is struggling to get through the first levels, but who wants to sort of deepen their their engagement with the game before they've beaten everything 5 times, this website like this can be very helpful for that. It may be that an article on one of these implements and tools of the trade here might serve to clarify a specific question someone might have had that the game didn't. It may be that there's some little thing that's mentioned in one of these articles that had not occurred to a player. I mean, okay, a mine is a mine, but it's the smallest levers that move planets. And one of the things that makes being a Thief fan great is that there's all sorts of wonderful information to be had. So here you have the city. This is a lush presentation. A lot of effort was put into this. Here you got a nice map of the city. You got, it looks like a breakdown of, you've got your own little article about Shalebridge. That's cool. And so if we go to games, if we go to games, it's like we got gameplay, a description of the gameplay, setting, story, development, reception, something about Thief Gold, and then, so you've got a good rundown. This could help somebody decide if they really wanted to play. And then you've got like a full walkthrough, a playlist that's like a full, complete walkthrough. It's like Thief Gold, full game walkthrough, all loot. So, that's a very good reference. You've got, and he's paid the program. I like seeing this. I like seeing that he's taken the step of making sure to feature developer credits prominently. That's good. You got your Steam, GOG, Humble. If you need to get the game, mods, patches, those are all very important. Here's the same thing. You know, Thief 2 gets the same treatment. Okay. You know, I know that people have continued to mod and develop with, Thief Deadly Shadows. I didn't realize they'd come out with a mobile game. That's new. I had no idea. See, I learned something today just by coming here and looking at this. And then you've got um, our ostensible entry into the franchise. But one of the things Wisp Mage and I talked about. Of course, yes, I'm going to grouch at Thief for Thief 2014, Thief, whatever you want to call it. Of course, I'm going to grouch at Thief. But one of the things we touched upon in our conversation that I think it's very important to mention is that, Thief 3 really ended up being a big blessing for the fandom because a lot of players, including the ones who first were exposed to Thief on Xbox, then proceeded to fall in love with the game and go to a lot of trouble to play the first two games on PC. Wisp Mage tells me he was one such person. And I can tell you from, talking to people on YouTube and DeviantArt that Thief 4 basically has had the same effect. So, I gripe, but let's not forget that just because of the way the gaming industry works, when something like Thief is released, whether it's Looking Glass Studios or Eidos Montreal, when a game gets released, some people play it, and if it's part of a larger franchise, some of those people seek out the other games. And if the franchise as a whole is something that's precious to you, then new blood is always welcome. It's always a good thing. So here you have a section on mods, and this looks like this might be links to them. Thinking that's what this is. Yeah, so this is just because here, this is just sort of resources for people who, like here's Shadows of the Metal Age. I have perpetually been going back and forth with myself about whether or not I'm ever actually going to get to this. If I ever do an FM, for sure it's gonna be this to start. It remains to be seen what I'm going to do. Let's see. So, these are all important resources for keeping the game running on modern hardware, modern systems. So it's nice to have those all cleanly organized. So this section is titled Missions, and this is like if you, I guess this is if you, this is sort of links and resources for working with DrawMed if you want to get involved in making or playing fan missions. You gotta use DrawMed or associated tools to make it, and then you need loaders to play them. That's what all this is. This is all stuff I know nothing about. Let's see what this is. TTLG.com. So I think this is all relating to fan missions. And perhaps this is guilds of level designers or stuff like that. So here we have the manuals. Looking at these makes me feel super old, but that's okay. Prima's official strategy guide. God, I wonder if they still make those. You can download the strategy guides. That's cool. Here's the old boxes. I never actually had this one because my first copy of Dark Project came in a bundle. And then I did get a boxed copy, but that was like the Eidos Silver or the Eidos Platinum. I think it was Eidos Platinum Edition, and it was a square box. I never had this sort of key shaped um, for Thief the Dark Project. I never had that, and I didn't have the box of Thief Gold either. Did have this. I actually had two of these. They're both gone now. I do have the original CDs. I have two. I have both commercial versions of Thief 2: The Metal Age. There's subtle differences. There were two versions. Um, I have an original copy of both. He's got a link to Gloomwood here. I did a let's sort of play Gloomwood so far. I have an unopened copy of this, and I have Deadly Shadows and several other editions also unopened, but I have an unopened copy of this. And I bought Thief 4 on Steam, so. Is old images, old stuff. I mean, I remember looking at these like this picture keeper Artemis, or this one, or this one, these, and it's like, we're just chomping at the bit. What's the 3 gonna be like? You're really, really, really pumped. You can get the Thief 4 comic. I'm yet to read it. I have the DLC, but I never really bothered. Maybe I will one day. So let's see. Let's go to video. Uh-oh. Look who it is. Speak of the devil. Well, I'm honored. I'm honored that my formatting and organization of these cutscenes, briefings, and intros that was serviceable enough that it's considered useful to be here. And these videos are not going anywhere, so if I get my way, these links are never going to go bad. It's an honor to be on this website, to be a part of this. Old trailers. Pretty cool. Documentaries. You should watch these. You should watch these. Let's see. Oh. Well, again, I'm honored. I'm honored that these videos are going to be on this site and are going to be helping to, keep these resources available for people. Got the Thief 2014 soundtrack, I guess. Interview series from Looking Glass. And Inside It Last podcast. So here you've got your TTLG. You've got the old Thief the Circle. Let's, of course, TTLG.com doesn't need any introduction from me. Thief the Circle does not need any introduction from me. Here's the Keeper compound. Of course, the Thief Wiki does not need any introduction, but thoroughly deserves a shout out from me. Um, this is another amazing, amazing, amazing Thief resource, and again, I am also honored to be present on their front page, but this is so much bigger than any one Taffer, and literally any single question you have about Thief that could be answered with reference to the actual, if you will, primary document of the game itself. If you need to look something Thief up and going into the game is tedious or unwieldy, just come here to the wiki, because it doesn't matter how technical or random or minor, what if it's a question of what happens in a level, or the minute point about the lore, you'll find it here. It's good that these resources are all linked together. Here's here's the city, the Thief Reddit. I occasionally will drop in here sometimes. Not often. Not often, but sometimes. And the Discord server. So, well, that's about it. Definitely visit https :// dash clocktower.net. Come here and have a look at this website. It's this Thief website. It's really cool. And if you're new to Thief, there's undoubtedly a lot to help you learn the series better. And if you're if you're an old salt like me, it's just kind of a joy to go through all this, and to think that this is copyright 2023, that all this has been put together by one really dedicated Taffer to to celebrate a game that came out when I was the summer of my sophomore year of high school. That's pretty cool. So by all means, check out Wispmage's website, The Clock Tower, and I will see everybody back next time. Later.